Are we obfuscating at the gig? Are we dodging at the function? Start your sublight engines. It's time for RuPaul's Padres, a queer Star Wars podcast, and welcome back to another week of chaos. I'm Noah. My pronouns are he, him. You can find me on social media at The Jewish Jedi, and my gender this week is sucking Cobb Vanth.
Noah,
you can't do this.
That was
And
foul.
what about it?
No.
I will not apologize for finding Cobb Vanth attractive.
Yeah, but you're not. That's not what you're allowed to find Cobb Vanth attractive. What you're not allowed to do is suck out. We don't know how those are doing right now.
Hi, my name is Mel. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me on social media at Melvin Culpa and on TikTok at Grunkle Rex. And my gender this week is the axe wovesification of Cobb Vanth. I still don't particularly give a shit about him, but I give more of a shit about him than I did before watching this episode. His redemption arc, ? Not clickbait.
I love the idea that Cobb Vanth needs a redemption arc.
Is he being redeemed for being a quirked up white boy with a little bit of swag?
Okay, that I'm mute.
No, but is he goated with the sauce? Hi. My name is Ollie. I use any pronouns. You can find me on social media at Ollie Fresh. It's fresh with a PH. And my gender this week is Grogu, but he's on X Games mode. Because I gotta say, Grogu doing those flips, I was losing my shit. I was like crying laughing.
Hi, I'm Claudia. My pronouns are she, her. You can find me on social media at Claudia Says, KALUDIA Says. My gender of the week is Cad, Let the Spice Flow Bane, Star of Dune.
No. Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't know. I've not seen Dune.
I haven't either.
The idea of Cad Bane playing a character named Paul is very funny to me. Cad Bane played by Timothy Chalamet.
Okay, no. Wouldn't he be Idaho? Isn't there a guy in Dune named Idaho?
Do not disrespect Duncan, Idaho like that.
There's a guy named Duncan, Idaho.
Yes.
Fine. His name can be like Colin, Nebraska.
I'm Jess. My pronouns are they, them. You can find me on TikTok and Twitter at Kawaii Jessyo. And my gender this week is... Who is Appo?
No, okay, because I saw people trying to get your ass for not knowing who Appo was. And I'm like, horrible news. Appo is not even like a character. Like, I think he has like one line in all of Star Wars.
I also did not know who he was.
Sorry, I just needed to clarify this. Appo was the clone that beefed with Bail Organa. Was like, you should leave, whore. So,
yeah, that's like his
so
one.
Oh,
I thought he was familiar, but I was like, I am too engrossed into the fiction. I gotta get out of here.
To move into talking about the episode, this is something that I've been thinking about. Is in that scene when Luke Skywalker is talking to Grogu and he's like, let's see where you're from. And everyone was like, me included, I was like, oh my God, Luke, what the heck? You're going to make him relive that? I was like, maybe. Luke was like, I know something happened to you, but I don't really know what. So let's see what happens. So Luke does that. Grogu has that vision. Luke sees it and he's like, oh, that was so much worse. I did not know that happened to you. I'm so sorry. Who could have done such a thing?
Uh-oh.
And Grogu's like, horrible news. What did you say your last name was again?
I like the idea of Grogu becoming a glorified security camera. That's very funny to me.
Broke is that R2-D2 has seen everything. Woke is that Grogu has seen everything.
I can't believe that Grogu was there when Starlight Beacon collapsed.
Grogu threw the first brick at Stonewall.
Grogu. You see the same eyes in different people.
You see the same eyes in the same people because it's been Grogu.
Anyway,
do we want to talk about the Book of Boba Fett?
Can I start? Because can I just say that I had an experience watching this episode because I have been painting my face white, putting on a red nose and honking for the last 4 weeks about seeing my gay little cowboy Cobb Vanth. And when he came on screen, I did have to pause what I was watching. And I did watch it. I watched it at I think 5:45 in the morning. So my roommates were asleep and I was like, I need to start yelling. Because listen, he was there. I don't know. I mean, he wore a belt buckle at a weird angle because he's a homosexual, but I really appreciated him entering his D.A.R.E era. That was very funny.
I just have to say, of anything else in the episode, when Din Djarin said, "Hey, can I buy you a drink?" I was like, hello?
I became the Joker this week.
Listen, I have...
He didn't say, hold on. He didn't say, like, hey, let's get a drink. He said, can I buy you a drink? And that's very different.
And then Cobb was like, your pretty little smile lets you get anything. And I know he was being facetious, but listen, this is no disrespect to my Din Luke shippers out there. I got you guys. I love you guys. Din Luke has been found dead in Miami. Din Cobb continues to thrive. Canonically, not you do your own thing, but...
Well, hopefully, if he's not dead...
Listen, he's not dead.
You know what?
Shot
He's
in the
fine.
shoulder.
And I know that he's fine because if he isn't, I'll reach into this goddamn show and fix it myself. I don't care what I have to do.
CobbDinVision.
No.
Get out.
But no, he's fine. I watched the episode. Stop. He's fine. My friends and I also, like, when I watched it the first time, we did go back to be like, where did this guy get shot? And it did look like he got shot in the shoulder. Unlike his little deputy, R.I.P. the little deputy who Cobb...
Deputy got lit the fuck up. Freaking
Cad Bane really was like, I'm choosing violence on this man specifically because he shot Cobb once, then turned to the deputy and shot him 4 times.
He had the opposite of plot armor. Like, the first time I saw that man, I was like, you were dying this episode.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Me and my friends, too, we, like, looked at him and we're like, that man's dying. I can't explain it, but this man screams cannon fodder.
He's the guy, like, he comes on screen and then it plays one of those montages from a rom-com of the recently dead wife, where it's like, you'll never forget me, right?
He's very submissive and killable. Something that I thought when Cobb was really funny is because they played the little like, here's what you missed on Book of Boba Fett that showed Din doing all the stuff. And the last clip it showed before going into the new episode was Din being like, I have to go say hi to my little friend. And then it cuts to Cobb and I was like, say hello to my little friend. Cobb Vanth. But I also love, this is another fun thing. This is something that Mel said to me while we were watching the episode. Cobb Vanth saw those pikes and said, hey girlies, you need to leave or I'm going to shoot you. And they said, we're not going to leave. And he said, cool, and shot them. Mel goes, dang, white boy's got some moves.
Listen, who is Cobb Vanth if not a canonically fucked up little white guy?
Corked up white boy with a little bit of swag, busting it down sexual style.
And he is Gerda with the sauce. I know this.
I want to bring up something that I don't know why when I was watching with my friends, this is what we were thinking during that. Well, like, one, I immediately was like, oh my God, my friend Noah's going to be so happy. And my other 2 friends were like, what? I was just like, he loves Cobb Vanth. But 2 is, after he shoots the little pikes and he's telling the last pike to, like, leave, he, like, tells him to, like, put the chest down, but he says, so, like, load that, like, that chest and consider it, like, the little, like, payment for what's going on. And my friends wanted to, like, pause the episode and be like, did he just say load? But he put it on the ground, so what's going on? Which, like, I'm guessing is just, like, his little slang for offload or, like, unload. In the subtitles, it did say load. And then when I watched it a second time with my sister, like, later on that day again, they did fix the subtitle to say unload, even though Cobb Vanth was still saying load. So I was just like, haha, so my friends and I aren't the only crazy people who were confused by him saying load, but then telling the pike basically to put it on the ground.
When I was watching it with Claire, my partner, and he kicks open the little box, and Claire was like, what do they make the spice out of? It just looks like cinnamon. And then I know people on TikTok were talking about, like, or somewhere they were talking about, like, so, like, how do you do spice? People were like, well, there's many different ways, just like other drugs, whatever. And somebody was like, cinnamon challenge.
No.
Okay, quickly, what Star Wars character is doing the cinnamon challenge, and why is it Leox Jossie?
No, they would never.
I was gonna say Reith Silas.
I was gonna say Farzala.
Farzala, I can see, and I do believe that it is Leox, and I believe that he's like, I'm really good at this. You guys, you just wait. I'm so good at this.
He does it, and he's actually fine. Like, he's like, I don't know what the problem was. No, something that there are two things about that. One, everyone thinks it's so cool when Cobb Vanth kicks out a bunch of spice, but when Trace Martez does it, y'all are haters. So that's on you. The other thing too, this is another thing that Mel said, but when he like kicked that box over and all of the spice blew up, but Mel was like, stop, you're gonna get high. Like, he's gonna inhale it and go back to town and have to be like, where am I?
That's why he got why he didn't pull up fast enough with Cad Bane.
No, okay, that's
Cad Bane.
Okay, so do you remember, sorry to talk about the High Republic on this Boba Fett show, but you know that part in Into the Dark where Dez is having a moment and Leox is just like, let's put drugs on him and it will work. That is what Cobb Vanth did preemptively.
I think Dez would do the cinnamon challenge.
Okay, no, wait. Okay. Oh no, Cobb Vanth's little deputy who died did the cinnamon challenge right before
That's why he died.
that fight.
That's why he passed away.
Right before that fight, he did the cinnamon challenge. And
you guys actually can't see it, but he actually does a cinnamon challenge right before he gets shot, and he dies from that. But then while he's falling over, Cad Bane shoots him 4 times.
Oh my god, the cinnamon challenge shot first.
Speaking of the little deputy, also, I just want to say, because like we all know that like Cobb Vanth, not only is he in a relationship with Din, but like, you know, it's like the little Cobb polycule, because he's also, you know, in a relationship with his little weekway bartender boyfriend, and then also you know, Mel's favorite white boy, why did I forget his name?
Axel
Woves. I'm sorry.
Axel Woves.
I'm sorry.
I don't think his full name is like,
we know nothing about him.
No.
As far as we know, he could be Axel Woves.
What if his name is Axolotl Woves?
Stop, get out.
But yeah, Axe Woves is also in there. But no, it's like the weekway boyfriend, Cobb Vanth, and then like the deputy wanted to be part of their polycule, but I think he's getting the Gobi treatment, and then they're like, no, you can't be part of our polycule.
No.
And that's why he actually passed away. It was because of sadness.
It was embarrassment.
No, what happened was he applied to be a part of their polycule, and Cobb was like, would you settle for deputy?
Who said just like Padme in the chat?
He died of sadness.
That's what I was implying. Yeah, he was so sad from not being.
Anyways,
no, he was pregnant.
Anyways, we talked about the corked up little white boy, Cobb Vanth.
He was corked up after that twice.
So let's talk about the other corked up little white boy, Luke Skywalker.
Luke Skywalker is not a corked up white boy.
No, and he's definitely not goaded with the size.
He's not busting it down sexual style. Here's what I'll say about that entire interaction. One, can I just say that as a fan of funky little droids, I loved the ant farmification of Luke Skywalker's Jedi Temple. That was great, and I loved those. However, I would also like to say that Din Djarin showing up and then saying, I'm gonna take a nap. Relatable kid.
No,
I love him.
When Din showed up, I was like crying because he showed up. R2D2 ran over. He was like, Din, where the hell have you been, Loca? Like, that's all I could think of that entire time. But I loved like Din walking around and being like, damn, this island is kind of shitty. Where's my son? And Grogu being like, or R2D2 being like, I'm simply going to shut the fuck up. That's your problem.
I'm so excited for the scene where the camera rotates around Din as he sits in his rapidly dilapidating bedroom while months pass. That's actually, Mando season 3 is just 10 straight hours of the camera spinning around Din Djarin.
Wow. I can't wait for the episode. That's actually something that I heard. This could be a rumor, but I heard that there's going to be an episode in season 3 of The Mandalorian written by Stephanie Meyer.
Oh my God.
Where did Luke get all the funky little ant droids? Like, Luke, where did you get the money for them? Or he built them? That'd be interesting. But still, where did you get all the parts for them, Luke? How did you get them all transported to your funky, fresh little planet where you're building your new Jedi school?
Did you just call Luke Skywalker poor?
I mean, canonically?
Okay,
no, here's the thing. He went to Leia and he was like, hey, I need some money. And she was like, why? And he's like, no reason. It's definitely not to buy 62 straight androids and then make them build an igloo for me out of rocks.
The idea of Luke Skywalker as like just the deadbeat uncle who like always needs money is so funny to me.
He's a twink. That's what they do.
Okay, one part that I also really liked was Grogu and Luke sitting there together, and Grogu starts trying to use the Force to lift up a frog. And then Luke is like, I'm actually going to lift up 100 frogs, idiot. Look how much better I am than you. I know that's not what he was doing, but I do think it's funny. I was like, Luke, PETA is going to get your ass.
I thought he was going to feed them all to Grogu.
So the thing about Luke in this episode that has really gotten to me, and that kind of is the thing that I've realized about him, is that, especially because he's like having this whole entire crisis of, he's like, you're my first student, Grogu. Like, what am I doing here? He's like a first-year teacher who like didn't have a student teaching position. So he's just going from school to teaching, being like, oh, you have to eat, right? Here are 100 frogs.
Oh my god, Luke Skywalker is the Teach for America of the Jedi Order. He had no training, and then he just got thrown into it.
He just got thrown into some random school in Iowa, and he's like, okay.
Luke Skywalker is the teacher who's like, you're hungry, right? All I have is this 10-gallon box of goldfish. I sure hope that works for you.
Do you guys know those like those animals? There's like a lot of like fish that are like this, where as you feed them, they will just always eat and continue to grow indefinitely. What if that's like Grogu?
Are you saying Yoda's like that too?
Yes, I'm saying I think that Yoda and Yaddle were raised by people who knew how to take care of them, so they stayed small. Grogu does not have that luxury. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just feeding Grogu. Grogu's gonna show up. Din's gonna see him again. He's like, whoa, you are 7.5 feet tall. What happened?
Clifford the Big Red Dog style?
Exactly.
Oh
my god, Din is Emily Elizabeth.
I am not ready for long Grogu. Okay, I cannot. He goes up to no. Din is like, oh my god, I miss him so much. Can I see him? And Luke's like, sure. And then Grogu is towering above him. He's like, hey.
This is like, do you guys know how in Bethesda video games, like in Fallout, when a character will glitch, you'll kill them and they'll die, and their arms will turn into like spaghetti noodles that are 1,000 feet long. That's what Grogu's gonna look like.
I feel like there was so much happening there. I really did enjoy the part where Luke Skywalker threw Grogu around like a sack of fucking potatoes. Because the wild thing to me was, I was like, you have the backpack. You used the baby Bjorn after you threw him around. So you just did that for funsies? And it was like, okay, wait, I should probably use the backpack for you so I don't lacerate your spine.
I'm in love with the fact that he was like, walk with me, Grogu. Like, imagine if you said that to like a toddler, but then every 2 steps you physically kicked them forward, and then you were like, hey, I can't help but notice you aren't keeping up very well.
Yeah, I was laughing really hard about that when he's just like, walk with me. And then like he and Grogu are walking, and every time Luke got ahead of Grogu, he just like lifts him up with the Force and puts him ahead of him. But then it happened every few steps because Luke only needs to take 2 steps for every 10 Grogu has to take.
He's gonna get Grogu shaken baby syndrome.
Luke was so serious about the conversation the entire time. Meanwhile, he's like pulling Grogu through the air, and he's like, let's talk about your attachment to your father.
I mean, to be fair, all of Star Wars is like that. I mean, the funny part about that is, though, like, I mean, especially when, like, if you're walking along the street with like, a kid, and it's 2 people, and you have the kid between you, and you have to, like, swing the kid so that the kid can, like, keep up with you. Like, that was the kind of the vibe that I got. Because also in The Mandalorian, you'll notice, like, Din will just walk and have Grogu walk behind him, like, on a city street, and you're like, bestie, your child is like 20 feet behind you, either pick him up or something. So I was like, thank God Luke is doing that. But that was actually one thing I kind of liked, and there was a couple about the writing. There are things to like and things to not like, but there was actually one thing that I did like of this like almost in media res kind of deal of like, we're not seeing like, oh, when Luke met Ahsoka, although I would love to see that, or when the beginning of Grogu and Luke's time here. We're like getting here kind of in the middle, and there were little things that showed their familiarity with each other. So like this is clearly something he does with Grogu all the time that Grogu probably really likes. Or like the conversation that he has with Ahsoka, where Ahsoka's like, yeah, like you're just like your father, whatever. It's clearly something she has said to him before, and that they have discussed Anakin before. Like there are little moments of familiarity that did make me scream, cry, and throw up. And the little like making Grogu jump thing actually was one of them.
Seeing Luke and Ahsoka like talk, that was one of those things that as it was happening, I was like, oh, that's like so cool. Like Ahsoka's here, who I was not expecting to see. Like that's fun. And then she walked up to Luke and they started talking. And I was like, oh yeah. And then I was like, oh wait. There were a lot of moments, like as a child who grew up watching the Clone Wars in this episode, where I was like dumbfounded, where I was like, I don't even know how to react to this right now. Cause like realistically in Mandalorian, we saw Ahsoka, we saw Luke, we knew that they existed in the same universe and we knew that they were both in live action. But for some reason, the idea of them actually meeting and like talking on screen together just didn't occur to me until it was happening. And I feel the same way about Cad Bane showing up. Like it was something that I just like, I knew it was possible intellectually, but I didn't realize that I would react the way I would. But seeing the two of them talk and seeing Ahsoka be like, oh, that's like your father. And then cut to this clip of Luke and like the facial expression that they animated for him looked so much like one that Hayden made as Anakin. And I just like, it hit me in a way I was not expecting. It was crazy. Oh my God, it was crazy.
I had the exact same reaction where like it took me a second basically of like, because they were chatting or whatever, and I literally had to pause it and I was like, okay, wait a minute. They have met more than once. Like this is not a first meeting. This is them like seeing each other regularly. And the understanding that Ahsoka had talked to Luke at all was weird. But then for her to be like, just like your father, I was like, do you guys talk about Anakin? Like, have you guys been processing that together? Because holy shit, like it was a lot. I would also like to wish a big fuck you to anybody who didn't watch Rebels or Clone Wars because haha, now it's in the canon you have to pay attention to.
You know, there's not often when you read so much fan fiction about a thing and then it actually happens and you're like, huh? What? It's not computing in my brain. I was talking to my partner yesterday and saying like, oh yeah, when Ahsoka said to Luke, and I had to stop myself and go, I'm sorry, I can say that sentence? Hold on, I'm having a literal mental breakdown. There's a lot of things I wish they would just recast Luke. Dear God, please stop deep faking people's. By the way, if you guys didn't already know, his voice was a deep fake AI. It was not Mark Hamill acting. They like ran Mark Hamill's lines through a program. That's why his voice sounded weird. I wish they would just recast. But even putting that aside, the actual even more emotional part for me was seeing R2. First of all, seeing Din Djarin and be like, hey, R2, whatever. It was the same at the end of The Mandalorian. Like, I don't know what it is. It was the same thing in The Force Awakens. I don't know what it is about R2 showing up, whatever, where I start crying. Something hits me inside. I feel like a child. And then to see Ahsoka, like, interact with R2 again, that's what broke me. That is what broke me. And then of course I wanted more. I wanted like, okay, when did they first meet again? Like, did she call him R2E? Please, I gotta know.
I was just about to say, like, how crazy would it be if I want to see her call him R2E in live action.
Yeah, and then of course my brain starts like going a million. I'm like, has she met Leia? Have they hung out in the rebellion? Please, I gotta know.
I do like the idea of Luke going back to his friends. Like he meets Ahsoka the first time and he goes and he's talking to Leia and he's like, yeah, I met this girl and like she said she was Anakin, like our dad's Padawan. Like, I don't know. I don't know how we can trust her. Her name is Ahsoka. And Chewie's like, I know her. We're besties. Oh my God. We almost died that one time together. That shit was crazy. Yeah, she's legit. Tell her I say hi.
And Leia being like, yeah, that's one of our Fulcrum agents. Wait, Chewie, you know her? And Chewie's like, yeah, I know everybody. I've been alive for like 400 years, bitch. I know Yoda too. Luke being like, oh wait, you know Yoda?
Like yes, Yoda and I had a sensual vacation together once on Kashyyyk.
The other thing that was very surreal about this was that a lot of people's jokes and stuff about Ahsoka was like, oh yeah, she would probably just be like hanging out, like being like Aunt Ahsoka, just like V chillin', because she's like, I'm not doing all that. And then that's exactly what she was. She was like, Din was like, well, why aren't you teaching him? She's like, but that's none of my business. And I was like, such aunt culture. She's like, I'm just here to like be gay and provide advice. And I was like, that's exactly how everyone imagined Ahsoka, and now it's real, and I can't process that.
When Luke's just like, will I see you again? And she's just like, perhaps. And
Thrawn
the red
mentioned?
flag.
Yes!
Well, Thrawn mentioned because she said perhaps, but no, just like the red flag raising and being like, oh no, I hope you guys do see each other again. Otherwise, that's very sad.
I'm glad I was not the only one, because obviously when Din says that to Grogu and he's like, I'll see you again, whatever, it was a callback to Shmi saying that to Anakin, to Kanan saying that to Hera, all these different times, whatever, when we know they ain't seeing them again. And so obviously we see here that Din doesn't see Grogu again. I mean, unless something happens or whatever. So when she said that, I was like, uh-oh, is this the only time we're going to see them interact because she's going to go die or something? I was like, Dave, is this the beginning of the end?
I have a proposal. I think that the reason she said perhaps is because she thinks Luke is extremely annoying. She's like, because here's the thing. I think Luke shows up at the rebellion, right? He's like, everyone's like, oh my God, a Jedi, just because they know Ezra and Kanan. And he's like, hee, I just picked up a lightsaber 2 days ago. And they were like, we need someone to train him. And they try to call Ahsoka, but she does not answer. She's like, I'm not doing that. So Sabine has to train him because she's the only one who has any experience because she learned with the Darksaber. So she has to train Luke the whole time. She's like, you were so goddamn annoying. Ezra would never. Then she goes to go look for Ezra with Ahsoka. And she's like, I met the most annoying person. I hate him. So now it's just rubbed off on Ahsoka. So Luke's
like, yeah, he's just like his father. He's really annoying.
Luke's like, are you going to come back? And she's like, perhaps. I don't know. Fuck off. Goodbye. I'm going to hang out with some cooler people. I was going to talk a little bit about like where this kind of leaves us, like that last kind of scene. So what I think is really fun, this is where I'll bring it up. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about it because it's been an issue, and it was an issue last episode. Boba was actually in this episode, which is very exciting. He didn't have any lines. However, that scene where they're all standing in that room and Din is like there and he's like, hee. I don't remember exactly what happens, but Fennec and Chrysanthemum both roll their eyes at the exact same time. And it's so iconic. And I am here to push, I think, I don't know how to explain how funny they are, but I need a Fennec and Chrysanthemum like bestie episode. Like, I'm like, if we're letting anybody have an episode of the Book of Boba Fett, I think that they should have one where they just go like, it's like the Meluron episode of Rebels where Zeb and Ezra go on their little adventure. I want one, but it's Fennec and Chrysanthemum.
Listen, they're the best possible combination for a buddy comedy. I said what I said.
The thought of like the last episode just actually being Fennec and Chrysanthemum's little adventure is really funny to me.
This is the theme music of episode 6. Anyways.
You're so correct for that.
Yeah, I will say, Chrysanthemum is introduced in the comics. I've been reading a lot of the comics. Chrysanthemum is introduced in the comics with Darth Vader, whatever, but he spends most of his time with Dr. Aphra, who they definitely have that kind of vibe. And like, Chrysanthemum's always there, and people are always like, why are you hanging out with Dr. Aphra? She's a pain in the ass. She's gay. She's a pain in the ass. Everybody hates her, whatever. And Chrysanthemum's like, I hang around because she owes me a lot of money. But I think he just hangs around because it's fun and he likes to beat the shit out of people. And I think that's the dynamic that he would have with Fennec, is like, yeah, I just hang out with this violent little lesbian, because that is canonically what he does. So
I was going to say, do we want to talk about the scene with Cobb Vanth and Cad Bane? Because that's the last thing that we have to talk about, like, chronologically.
Yeah, I guess to that I would say I really like cowboys, not literally, obviously, but like the concept of them is very fun to me and I do enjoy it. So it was really fun for me to get like an old style Western standoff. That said, if Cobb Vanth is anything short of bruised, Cad Bane, I'm going to reach into the screen and pull those little tubes right out of your face. So that's where I'm standing. Also, okay, can I just say that like the vibes in that scene to me, immaculate. Loved them, very much enjoyed. I wish my only critique of that, I guess, would be I wish he had a larger hat. And I don't mean like a bit
Same.
larger. I mean like large enough that it spans the distance between two buildings.
Doug
And then he,
Dimmadome
like-
style?
No, that's taller than it is wide. I want like inverse Doug Dimmadome.
What you're describing is a chode hat. That's what you've described.
A chat, if you will.
Not a
Okay. Also, here's the other thing too. This is a weird thing that I have that like this is almost a criticism I have of that is I do kind of worry that the writers and the creative team behind this show is banking a little too much on people caring about that scrapped arc from the Clone Wars where Boba and Cad Bane fight. Because I'm like, aside from really, really hardcore fans, and even then only some of them, not a lot of people either know or care about the fact that there was supposed to be drama between Boba and Cad Bane. That being said, when Cad Bane showed up, people have been talking about, well, maybe Cad Bane will be in this episode. And I was like, I don't really care that much like about Cad Bane. Then I saw him and I was like, actually, I care a lot about Cad Bane. Because once again, as someone who grew up with the Clone Wars, I'm like, oh, I was so scared for Cobb Vanth. I'm happy he only got shot in the shoulder, but I'm like, Cad Bane wielded a lightsaber against Quinlan Vos and Obi-Wan and kicked both of their asses. There's so much stuff that this man did. And they're like, I remember when I was a kid watching Clone Wars, I was scared as shit of him. So seeing him in live action, like I felt like a kid. It was like, I have not felt that way for watching Star Wars for a while, but it was, yeah. Anyway.
A friend of mine did say, has anyone made the gift set comparison of Cad Bane walking in from the desert and the end of Pride and Prejudice?
No, no.
I had
here's how we get Jason McFadden in Star Wars.
Please, okay.
Jason McFadden, Matthew McFadden,
Whatever the fuck.
fake Tom Succession fan.
I have not seen Succession and I fell asleep for the majority of Pride and Prejudice. You're lucky that I even got
Do
close.
you guys remember when I thought that Lee Pace and Tom Succession were the same person?
Yes.
I'm gonna kill you. Okay.
Oh my god.
That was
Unironically, he is my Catalyst fan cast.
So that actually wasn't what I was gonna say. I actually disagree with you, Ollie, about Cad Bane. I think that Dave Filoni's special little POV self-insert character is Ahsoka, but Dave Filoni's glup shitto is Cad Bane, and he loves that stupid little man so much. And so I don't think that it's like, oh, there's unfinished beef that never got to be made. It's really just Dave Filoni being like, this is my man, and he's always gonna be here, because these are my little besties. And I respect that, but because of that, he has always made his little glup shadow have a little bit of extra sauce, and that's why Cad Bane is like, he's just kind of badass. And so I think that's why I think it was Straw Hat Goofy on TikTok. He's never seen the Clone Wars, whatever, and he was like, I love this guy, I want to know more about him. I think he has the special sauce of just being a rootin' tootin' cowboy that I think people are gonna love whether they know who he is or not. And I think he's being brought in because the beef with Boba has not been made canon, but he now has canonical beef with Fennec. And I think he's going to show up and Fennec's going to be like, so now I can really beat your ass. And I will really look forward to that. Although when he did show up, I'm reading a lot of the comics right now, especially with the bounty hunters thing. And all I could think about was, so this motherfucker survived all that time. And during all the war of the bounty hunters, he was just like, so that's none of my business. It is so funny to me. Like it's like an Avengers style, like everybody is beating each other's ass bounty hunter situation, and Cad Bane is somewhere going, that's none of my business. It's just very funny to me.
Maybe he was taking a little vacation, you know? Maybe he just didn't want to be involved with all of that. I don't know if you guys talked about how good Bane's hat keeps getting smaller, and I think it's because every time he loses, it just gets a little bit smaller, and eventually he will have no hat. and then that's when he finally will die.
Wait, okay, so he needs a little child to show him the true spirit of Life Day, and it will grow like 3 sizes?
No.
The
It goes back to
The Grinchification!
Grinchification. Right,
the
I love the
Grinch.
part where Scrooge's heart expands and he dies of a fucking heart rupture.
This is unrelated to Star Wars, but I was deeply afraid of the Grinch as a child, so I don't want to talk about the
Same.
Grinch.
I think that Cad Bane is the Grinch of Star Wars.
He steals children. Yeah.
And Toto is fucking Max!
Yes, exactly. Also, where is Toto? Toto would have somehow.
Isn't
Toto
he
would have
dead?
somehow like.
He's a
Toto?
droid. How would he
No,
die
he's
unless they like
fine.
smashed him to pieces?
I thought he died in
I
the
just
Bad Batch.
no. Omega did
No.
hurt him for a minute, but he was fine. I do like the idea of Toto being like Cad Bane was like, Toto, you wait here, I'll be right back. And then
And then
Toto's
he takes
like,
a long walk in the
"Yes, of
desert to
course."
get to Cobb, man.
he's like, I need to go do some actual killing, and you're gonna mess it up. Also, okay, I'm so sorry. The idea of Cad Bane showing up and being like, hey, Boba, I'm here to kill you, or whatever, because the Pikes told me to. Fennec being like, no, not this motherfucker. And having like, oh, okay, I'm so sorry for Fennec. But the fact that Cad Bane has not once, but twice been sent after an exact clone of Jango Fett, and Fennec has had to be there to protect them. Fennec's gonna be like, hey, you know, it's crazy.
Fennec's gonna be
time-
damn, this is deja vu. I feel like I've done this before.
He's gonna be like, Boba, you know, at least this time I don't have to kill that Kaminoan lady. And Boba's like,
And Boba's like,
oh,
huh?
I knew a Kaminoan. Her name was Tanwi. She was the one who basically took care of me when my dad wasn't there. And Fennec's like, oh, that's crazy. Man, I wonder what
did
happened
see a
to her.
tweet. I don't remember who it was from, but it was Boba and Fennec talking, and Cad Bane shows up, and he's like, this is just like when I tried to kill your sister. And he's like, my what?
I wanted to say, like, you know, you bringing up Dodo, it's so funny when I watched the episode. The entire time, like, when we first see the tiny little speck of Cad Bane approaching, and my friends were like, who is that? I was like, that's Cad Bane. And they're like, what? How do you know? I was like, it's Cad Bane. I feel it in my soul.
The hat. It's the
But then,
hat.
yeah, when he got closer, I was just like, where's this fruity little droid? Huh? Where's Toto? I miss him.
You know what's funny?
No.
Dave Filoni heard us saying that we want the blue bitch with the red eyes, you know, who has a cowboy friend, and he missed the friend part and was like, oh, you want Cad Bane, blue bitch with red eyes, cowboy. And we're like, no, we were talking about Thrawn and Eli. You've brought the wrong blue bitch.
I still think that something involving Thrawn will be mentioned in the last episode, and when it does happen, my neighbors will be calling the police because
Would you be mad if I sent you like a little glass box with a clown nose in it that says break in case of being wrong?
Listen, I am number 1 in the Discord cameo pool, and I did predict Cad Bane specifically for this episode.
You
So
also
everybody-
predicted Sabine Wren for this episode.
Okay,
Not to put you on
Also,
blast, but
I
like,
don't want to put you on blast, Claudia, as well, but you did put basically every character who was alive during Star Wars at this point.
that's not true. I also put random shit like Snoke clone in a jar.
Claudia is the person who takes a picture of the fucking planet and is like, my ex is in this book.
Now that we've discussed Cad Bane, let's talk about the end of that episode, right?
Yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the thing at the end, because whenever attachments are brought up in Star Wars, rhetoric about the Jedi Order is really kicking people's ass when they're talking about this. This is not... I want to be clear. Of everybody here, I am the latest person to come to the High Republic. My opinions on the Jedi Order, I have rethought before I even did that. So this is me coming from me without external material or most of the external materials. This is me talking from the shows and the movies, like the common man, if you will, that I hate to say like being a Jedi defender or whatever, but there's always this rhetoric of like, yeah, and then the prequel Jedi, they became really dogmatic and they're bad and they're whatever, and maybe that's not how they didn't used to be, and they're like an attachment and whatever, and I realized through talking to a lot of people that there's just like prevailing thoughts that nobody has really investigated, and reading the High Republic has helped me investigate them. But then I look back and I go, that actually was extremely clear from the show. So when I rewatched the Clone Wars, when I was first getting into the Clone Wars right after the sequels started coming out, I was very much a like, Yoda is a little green worn criminal, and I have some thoughts about the Jedi Order. And then I read, I started my canon challenge, and I started reading a lot of the books and comics in the prequel era, and then I rewatched the Clone Wars and Rebels with some of my friends. And what I ended up seeing, basically it helped me see what was already in the text, which was that the Jedi are victims, and there are so many instances of each one of them, even the ones that people love to malign, like Yoda, like Mace Windu, trying desperately to have moments of compassion and connection, whatever, that are denied of them because of the ways that they were manipulated by the Republic. And even actually there was a deleted scene I had never seen before where Anakin tries to plead for Ahsoka's case, where Yoda is basically like, yeah, you should go and try and help her because she doesn't have very much time, and it's very merciful and it's very like real and humanizing. And it's a part of this thing where I people really don't understand what the attachment thing is. And that's why also when people don't watch Rebels, I'm like, it's really kicking your ass, because I always say Kanan is my favorite Jedi because he exemplifies being able to have attachments and let them go. And what that means is like, because what people don't understand is they're like, oh, well, so the Jedi just, you can't have anything and you're not supposed to feel anything. And his thing is like, you can have them, you just, when you need to be able to let them go, and that's a constant process. I don't want to spoil anything about Midnight Horizon, which is the latest High Republic book that came out, but it literally came out this week, and then this episode came out, and it includes stuff about Yoda as a Jedi Master, but mostly stuff about attachment. I'm not going to talk about anything else, but it was really interesting to read that and then to read this, because it was, again, sort of an illuminating kind of what I already knew about that. And it's something the High Republic Jedi talk about a lot, that practicing non-attachment is a constant thing. It's a constant thing of like, feel your emotions, process them and let them go. Love somebody and know that you will have to let them go in some way. That doesn't mean that you don't care for them or that you can't, do that or whatever. So I will admit, at the end of this episode, I was a little mad at Luke Skywalker. I was like, he is a baby. Why are you making him do this choice? But then I also have heard a lot of people's arguments of like, well, they don't give Jedi choice when they're a baby. And I was like, well, okay, so what are we doing here? And what I realized, because now I've been reading a lot of the main Star Wars run comics, is that I think that Luke is giving Grogu the choice that he didn't get, and the choice that Ahsoka as well, that Ahsoka didn't get, which is the choice that most Jedi in the past got to have, which is to actively choose to be a Jedi, something that Luke has always felt like he had to, or that Ahsoka was like, I can't do this anymore, and I didn't get a choice, I had got thrown into a war. So he's giving him a gift, and I think it's also a test to see, like, taking Yoda's lightsaber is not the Jedi path either. You have to make your own path as a Jedi. That's kind of the point. So I hope that's what the message is, but it also might just be crappy writing. So anyways, that's all I have to say on that.
That is entirely possible. I think I completely agree. I think the concept of attachment kicks so many people's asses, like truly. And they're like, oh, well, the entire movie's like the Jedi are telling him to like repress his emotions and things, which is definitively not true. And the whole entire thing, and George Lucas has said it himself, is that it is Anakin's needing to possess Padme. That is what fucks him up. It is not the fact that he loves Padme and like has big feelings about her. It is the fact that he has this need to not let go of her, even when the Force is telling him that this is how it's going to go. And once again, because it's a Force vision, and Force visions it's always like, haha, monkey's pawed your ass. And so that is just my struggle there. And I tend to agree with what you're saying, Claudia, with Luke's kind of choice that he's giving Grogu. I think that is a really like fair analysis of that. But I also think we have to remember that the Luke that we're seeing, this is his first student, and he is as far as he knows, one of the last like Jedi of this entire religion who didn't have that kind of same foundational practice that the Jedi before him had. And so like he's gonna fuck up, and like that's what makes him nervous. That's what makes him second guess when Ben is like having this moment with the dark side, and he's like, oh well, I gotta fucking strike you down now because like, well, fuck me, I guess. I don't know what the fuck to do because I am the only guy doing this shit. And so there's like, I think the pressure of that.
If I could inject some Jewish nuance, some Jewance perhaps into this conversation, I feel like a lot of people only know how to analyze religiosity from a very Christian perspective. So here's some fun facts about my hashtag life story. Because I was not born Jewish. I'm a Jewish convert. I was raised Christian. I went to Catholic school. So I understand that urge to only view faith and faith-based practice as a cage because I can see how it feels that way and like totally get that. However, I am begging people who were raised in America, which is culturally Christian, even if they weren't raised Christian, to try and distance themselves from that one limited understanding of religiosity and of faith and of that entire concept of practice. Because the thing is that like Jewish people have been debating about how best to be Jewish since we were Jewish, like since the dawn of time. And that is not a linear path. A big part of studying the Torah is looking at commentary from people from hundreds of years apart. And sometimes the people from the more modern commentators will look at people from the medieval era and be like, they were stupid. It's even more regressed than that. Like religions argue and religious practice evolves. And I think some people were frustrated with Luke because they were like, oh, what? So he gets to have friends and family, but Grogu can't? And it's like, I hate to break this to you. We don't always do religion correctly. I don't even think there's a way to be like a correct Jedi. I think that the entire concept of the Jedi as an order resists the conception of like doing it well, which is why I think it's not helpful to be like, here's the best Jedi, because it's like, no, they were the best Jedi for them. I don't believe that Anakin is a person who could have ever been in a relationship with Padme and also maintained a positive relationship to the Force because it's just who he is. Jedi Order notwithstanding, I don't think that's how that works. Whereas like we see Kanan have a much healthier way of understanding his relations to other people and still being a Jedi. And I think that like, that's the thing that I guess I want to throw into that is like, it's so mean he offered Grogu a choice. And it's like, one, like Mel was saying, this is his first student. Okay, he's the teacher that has never done a lesson plan before this. And he's like, I need to know definitively that you're in this for the long haul, because right now you're kind of all I've got. And that's a big deal. But also, Luke is a character, and we often look at him, like all characters, as lengthy arcs where we see the beginning and end. So it's very easy to look at Luke in The Last Jedi and say, how is he making this dumb of a decision when obviously he knows that the Jedi Order is kind of fucked up at this point? And it's like, he doesn't know that yet. He has yet to learn that very painful lesson. He's not going to learn it with Grogu. That said, it may just be bad writing, and that's fine. But I think only looking at like visual sources, because I have not read the comics, I think it's fair to say that sometimes religion is just complicated, and sometimes people practice it very, very differently. And that's no less true of the Jedi than it is of anybody else.
Yeah. And I think that is like an important part of The Last Jedi is Luke being like, hey, Yoda, what is going on here? Like, what were the Jedi? And Yoda's like, mistakes were made. I think that there's so much in the text that is pointing to, actually, the Jedi are not evil. And I think, Noah, you really hit the nail on the head with saying like each Jedi is different and experiences and relates to the Jedi Order differently. It is a code that we follow. It is not a strict, like, here is your agenda and your day-to-day life. And we see this like as we see other like mixes of Padawans and masters, and especially like in the High Republic, but also in the prequels, like in Clone Wars and stuff, we see how different masters train their students differently, and how Yoda even trained his students differently, like the difference between Yoda and Dooku, and the difference between like Dooku and how he trained like Rael Averross versus Qui-Gon. Like there's a lot of stuff that's like variants of how Jedi live their lives. So I think that Luke has a different approach to teaching right now than other Jedi, and it's just not an approach we've really seen before. So I'm curious. I'm maintaining positivity that this is just a part of Luke's story. I think the thing that really threw me off about this was Ahsoka being like, hee, you need to leave. But the more I've thought about Ahsoka in this, I'm like, maybe Ahsoka is trying to be like I didn't want anybody to train Grogu because I think that he should not, that like he is so attached. I think that Ahsoka was trying to be like, now, oh no, Din, if you talk to Grogu, he's gonna want to leave. Oh no, how bad would that be? And then Din was like, you're right, here, give this to him. And she's like, fuck, I messed up. Damn it. And she's like, Luke, wouldn't it be crazy if you gave Grogu this gift and then let him choose? That would be crazy. And she's like, fingers crossed this one works.
Well, I mean, Grogu ended up seeing the ship anyway, so I think she did it on purpose, where she was like, oh, just park over here, it'll be fine. And then Luke's like, you let the baby see the fucking ship. You defeated the point. And she was like, oh no, oh, what did I do?
She's like, oh no, now I'm gonna go hang out with Sabine. Bye.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go look for my better Jedi, Ezra.
Yeah, but I will say I remember the same argument happening when she first showed up in The Mandalorian, and at me having the same mixed feelings, and then thinking about it again, and they played her little Ahsoka leaving music and thinking about it and going, she is hoping that Grogu will get to have the choice and the life that she didn't get to have. And I think that that's the same deal here. That being said, much like I said last episode where Boba was in absentia, but we were talking about him thematically with the mythosaur, I almost feel like there's something similar here with the bringing together of Jedi and Mandalorian culture, because we talked about the Darksaber, which was created by a Mandalorian Jedi, and they were like, by the way, Darksaber. And then Din gets a Beskar spear from Ahsoka that was built to kill Mandalorians from Jedi, but then he melts it down to protect his Jedi son. It's like this circular thing, and that is being given to Grogu. And I still think, which would be very much in keeping with how the Jedi encouraged their Padawans to make lightsabers and also to connect with their like home culture, I still think that he's going to have a third choice situation where he's going to use that Beskar to make a lightsaber. And I don't know, there's just this circular sort of poetry sort of thing of like, he took this weapon and he made it into ironically, Din Djarin did a very Jedi thing where he took a weapon and he made it into a form of defense. And then Grogu might use that to make his own lightsaber instead of like taking Yoda's lightsaber, which would be the same thing actually that Luke did. I have read the comics, but even if you haven't, Luke loses his lightsaber, and there for a while he's like, am I a Jedi? Who am I? Whatever. And then he has this moment of like, I'm a Jedi whether I have a lightsaber or not, and I have to make my own way with that. And then he's eventually able to find one, whatever, which is the same lesson we learn in the prequels when the Padawans are looking for their kyber crystals. So I think it would work thematically. The Tar Vizsla to Grogu pipeline is insane, but I think it'll happen.
Do we have any final thoughts, or can I just interject some?
My final thought is, Garsa Whip girl, I am so sorry that you and your rockin' tits got blown up. That's all.
Max Rebo was alive.
I don't care about him.
No, I care about Max Rebo. He is alive. They showed all the members of the band, and Max Rebo wasn't there, so he's safe. I just want everybody to know.
So Max Rebo gets to survive, but Garsa Whip doesn't?
I will say that a lot of my viewing experience of this episode and just overall enjoyment of it was tainted by people's reaction on the internet. I think it was, once again, it was a fine episode. Like, there were parts of it that I really enjoyed and parts of it where I was like, okay, this could be better. Not to talk about the Jedi philosophy that we were talking about earlier of like managing your expectations. Like, it's okay to have like high expectations and be like, oh, I want this to be good, but you have to be able to also step back and let that go when that's not what happens. I think that a lot of people, and this is especially for characters that are so iconic like Ahsoka and Luke, if they don't match this idea that someone has constructed in their head of these characters, it's immediately bad. It's like, the end of the world, Disney's ruining Star Wars or whatever, but it's about like, you have to live with the fact that like, you are not the center of the universe. Congratulations. Welcome to the rest of the world. In the words of Padme Amidala, welcome to the real world. You're gonna have to make peace with that. Yeah, that was my one thing that like I genuinely was like, damn, y'all are fucking rancid right now and you're making Star Wars not fun. What is the point of Star Wars if not to have some fun?
Yeah, I feel like next episode I'm not going to open Twitter, but it's not to avoid spoilers. It's just because I don't want to see what y'all have to say about
I
it.
agree.
I should do that. Also not to avoid spoilers, but also to avoid spoilers, because when I was waiting for one of my friends to show up and I knew the episode already came out, but I was like, let me check Twitter, and immediately saw that Cobb Vanth was in the episode. So I was like, oh great. So I already know that Noah's bestie is here.
I had Cad Bane spoiled for me because I opened Tumblr for 1 second. I was like, fuck!
That's on you.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Can I just say that as a homosexual supporter, it's so nice to know that people associate me with Cobb Vanth. I'm glad that that's the brand I've made for myself online, because like people I do not know were tagging me in Cobb Vanth things the day the episode came out. I
Listen.
woke up to being tagged on TikTok of like, can't wait for you to see the episode. And I was like, I haven't opened Disney Plus yet.
I'm just saying, you know what is going to happen? You know, my notifications, like my phone is not going to function
Zeb.
anymore when Zeb shows up, because that is going to be the day that my phone just explodes.
Quickly,
If I don't see every single person who listens to this podcast, as well as every single person who follows me on TikTok, Twitter, any other social media, try to contact me when that purple motherfucker shows up, someone has failed.
For Noah, it's Cobb Vanth. For Ollie, it's Zeb. For Jess, it's Cody. For Mel, it's Axe Wolves or Fenrau.
The fact that it has to be
Fenrau
some
first.
dumbass white man. God
But
damn.
who is it for me?
Eli Vanto.
Oh yeah. But that's my thing though. I don't want people to message me, because then the surprise will be spoiled. Like if I haven't seen it yet and then everyone's messaging, like, as I know, once Thrawn shows up, about 50 people are gonna message me, and I'm like, I don't want to know. I want to experience it in real time. Don't message me.
You're right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive to your house and then stand outside of your door with a megaphone and be like, this just in. Eli Vanto was in live action, and I'm going to do it for 6 hours.
Kill you.
Oh, doesn't anyone else have any other final thoughts?
We've all talked so
Oh.
much.
Please go read Midnight Horizon. That's all. Actually, that's my only thought about this episode. Go read Midnight Horizon.
My final thoughts are like, yeah, I like the episode. I wish I saw more Boba. Like, you know, my criticisms from last week still stand, but it was a fun, funky, fresh time. Lots of fun. I did get a W because there was some live action clones. So there's your clone watch. So we got Boba and we got live action clones, but at what cost? You know, I was laughing the entire time I saw Order 66. I don't know. I think I'm just not well. I know everyone else was really sad because, yeah, that was a traumatizing moment for Grogu. I don't know. Clone Watch W. Live action clones. Woo.
Period.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, there was an epic spelling bee. So hi, welcome to Star Wars Spelling Bee. I'm your host, Jess. This is a new segment I'm bringing to the pod where I have found some fun little funky fresh words from Star Wars. I mainly am pulling from canon because I don't know, we all don't really like delve much into Legends. Maybe next time I might bring some Legends words, because there were a bunch of Legends words where I was just like, huh. But no, I'm pulling from canon this time. And basically, you know, like any spelling bee, I'm gonna give the hosts a word, like one at a time, and then they will have to spell it. If they misspell the word, then they're out. Or they just don't get the point. Whoever gets the most points at the end wins. So that's basically it. Are you guys ready to spell?
Do these go from easiest to hard? Because I'll take the first
Yeah.
one. Okay, I'll do the first one.
These are warm-up words, okay? And I'm actually, these like easy words are planets from Star Wars. So Ollie, your word is Tatooine.
Okay, This one I always mess up, but I think it's TATOOINE.
That's correct.
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm going to Disney World.
I will go next.
Your word is Coruscant.
I'm literally incapable of spelling this word. I'm Noah 21 and I'm fucking upset because my other fucking hosts are looking at me like I'm deranged for not being able to spell.
To be fair, the other day at length we roasted Noah for not knowing American geography.
C. We're off to a really strong start. Okay. CORUSCANT.
You got it right. You did
Fuck
it.
yeah.
Claudia, your word is Mustafar.
MUSTAFAR.
You got it right. Yeah. Okay. So finally, Mel is Dagobah.
I'm worried for Mel, who is
The
speaking.
way that I know this one, but
I didn't hear Mel because people were talking.
DAGOBAH.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Okay, so we go back to Ollie. Ollie, are you ready for your next word?
I am.
These are still the easy words. I
thank
only
God.
did like 2 rounds of easy words, so okay,
Shoot,
so your word is Corellia.
I know this. It's CORELL. Wait, Corellia.
You're right. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Midnight Horizon. Daniel Jose Older, you've done this for me.
Okay, so Noah again.
unfortunately.
Your word is Geonosis.
Okay, for a second I did think you were gonna say fucking Kashyyyk, and I was like, this is cruel and unusual punishment. Okay, this one I can do. It's GEONESIS. There's not an E, there's not an E, there's not an E, there's not an E. There's not an E. I added an E. There is not an E. It's GEONOSIS.
Yeah. Okay, you got it right the second time. The first time we're all just like, I don't know though. Should we give that point to Noah?
I mean, by spelling the rules, no. But pleading for mercy, yes.
I mean, he did
Maybe
say
like
it
a half
before someone
point.
corrected him.
I'll give you a half point for that.
I'll take a half point. I'll take that.
Claudia, your word is Kashyyyk.
All right.
I hate that I know how to spell Kashyyyk.
Okay. KASHYYK.
Unfortunately, there are 3 Ys.
Literally,
That is
anytime
sick and twisted.
anytime there's a Y in Shreewook, it's always 3.
Mel, are you ready for your word?
I mean, I guess.
Your word is Toydaria.
Oh, okay. Oh god. Sorry.
Are you spelling it out on paper first?
Yes, I am.
Wait, that doesn't
You
feel
never-
fair.
you
That is not fair.
That's against the spelling bee rules.
I was never part of a spelling bee. I was in a school of 10 people.
You've seen the musical.
No, I haven't. I see the
There's a
episode of
musical
Psych.
Wait, there's a musical
The
about a spelling
25th
bee?
annual.
I love-
my
Putnam
God.
spelling bee.
I love that episode of Psych.
You don't know 25th
Thank you.
annual Putnam County spelling bee?
Toydaria. Here, I'll put her away. Toydaria. TOYDARIA.
Yeah, you did it. So those are the easy words. I chose a bunch of planets for the easy words.
Let's go. Hard words. I'm ready.
Yeah, here's the hard words. Okay. Ollie, your word is Camarese. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but Camarese.
That doesn't feel fair. You don't know if you're pronouncing it right.
Can you use
I'm
it
pretty
in a
sure that's
sentence?
right. I wish that
Can you
like
use it in a sentence?
Yeah, hold on, let me pull up the Wikipedia page too, just so I can talk about it. Camarese was a spoken language that was used in the galaxy. Around 34 ABY, Camarese was spoken by the alien Dobu Skye as he gambled
Okay.
in the Canto Bight casino.
Canto Blight's with a C. So I'm gonna assume it's like the Canto Blight language. Is it C? Can you say the word one more time?
Camarese.
CAMERESE.
You were really close, but
Fuck!
it is with a KH.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say.
Oh,
and then I
damn.
thought you said Canto Blight, so I was like, oh, Canto Blight starts with a C.
I'm sorry.
Wait, so how is it spelled?
Khamarese.
So it's like the KH in con. Well, that really bodes poorly for me since I was already doing kind of bad at this. So let's do it.
No, your word is Devaronian.
Davorian.
That is not correct.
I will just die, I guess.
It is spelled Devaronin. Nian, sorry.
Wig, okay.
All right, let's do it.
Your word is Saleucami.
Oh, okay. I know I'm going to disappoint Ollie if I fuck this one up. It is Saleucami.
That's right.
Hey, yo! The
Okay.
Italians. I said the Italians of the galaxy.
Mel, your word is Nascorcum.
What?
Again, I'm sorry. Nascorcum.
Nay score scum.
Nascorcum.
I need people to know that, like, okay, I was like, I'll look up how this word is spelled so I can watch Mel spell it. And the results are coming up in Scandinavian because it doesn't think this is an English word.
Okay, also, I'm so stupid when Mel was having trouble pronouncing it. I was like, Jess, you should put it in the chat.
Nascorcum was a company that manufactured macro binoculars. The Jedi Padawan Ezra Bridger owned a pair of these binoculars.
Ezra, you bitch. I know it's not his fault that this is what it's called. So could you say the name one more time for me?
Nascorcum.
Nay Scorcum? N-A... No, N-E? I'm Nay! I don't know, bitch.
Are you a horse?
You're acting like there's a reward. Like you're playing like if you lose, something bad is gonna
I'm
happen.
afraid I'm gonna die. I've never done a spelling bee before. I assume that the children get killed if they don't do well.
No!
It just put us in a saw trap and we didn't ever realize it.
So it's N-A... Nay... N-A...
Is there a time limit?
N-A-S-C-O-R-C-O-M-M.
You were really close, actually, but it's Nascorcom.
So if I had been given a little bit more time to think through my name.
Yeah. But you were so close. You were just off by an E and added an extra M. Okay, Ollie, here's your final word. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Your word is deuterium.
Deuterium?
Deuterium.
The way that I unfortunately do know this word.
Is that, I swear, I think that might just be an actual like word. It's a D-E-U-T-E-R. D-E-U-T-E-R-I-U-M.
Yeah.
Yes!
I hate it here because I know that word because it's a term in chemistry. It is an isotope of hydrogen.
Okay.
Well, it's also like a chemical thing in like Star Wars, like a fuel type of thing.
Getting my clown shoes on and tying them on tight. Let's do this.
Your word is generalius.
Generali, and is this two words or is this one
It's one word, and it's generalius.
Could you use it in a sentence?
If you had read the Thrawn books, you
Well,
would know
I did.
about. This is the sentence I'm giving you. If you had read the Thrawn books, you would know about generalius. Freaking, what's his name?
It's
Nakir. His name is
Nakir.
Nakir.
There you go. Generalius Nakir from the Thrawn Ascendancy books.
Is this a name?
Generalirius. It's a military rank. General.
Wait, so is the word generally? What is the word?
It's like Generalissimo.
Who is that?
It's not a name. It's like a title.
Yeah, that's
You're giving him hints. It's Generalirius.
Generalirius. There.
Okay, that's it.
The word is general. Fuck me.
Generalirius.
Just try
there you go.
and spell it.
Okay, well, the first part is just general, which is General, and then it's Irius after that. Yes, the word I cannot remember this word to save my fucking life.
General
Totally.
Irius.
General Irius. Okay, so then it's General IUSE.
You were so close. There's no E at the end.
Who the fuck?
General Irius.
Okay, I cannot deal with the fact that Ali got deuterium and I got a fucking Thrawn ascendancy word.
Anyway, Claudia, are you ready for your word?
Uh-oh.
This game is tearing us apart.
Oh, okay, wait. Let me open the wiki page for this just to look at it. Let me ask one of the others that has spelled already that this is not their words, what they think this should be pronounced as. I want to say KJ.
I would say Kajane Sanicto.
That's what I wanted to kind of say too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Kajane Sanicto.
Kajane Sanicto.
Okay, can you spell it out phonetically?
No.
I can use it in a sentence.
Okay, wait,
for
can you send
if
it to me
want.
and I can try and pronounce it?
I don't think
Don't
I
send
can
it to me. I don't want to pronounce it.
No, I'm gonna send it to you on Discord right now.
I think it'd be Kajin Sanicto. I think that's the
Kajin
closest I
Sanicto
could-
sounds better.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with that. Your
Kajin
word is
Sanicto.
Kajin Sanicto.
Is this a person, a place?
This is a species.
Jesus, okay.
This is a species.
Kajanssanikto.
You were really close.
Motherfucker!
You missed an I. It was
There's an
K-A.
I?
Yeah, Kajainsanikto. It is a red
it's another name
Nikto.
for the
Mel, your word is Kjelstad.
Kjelstad? Okay. KJ. Sorry, I'm trying to think about this. What the fuck? K.
You want a sentence?
Yes, if you could put it in a sentence, that might be helpful.
The Kjelstad basin was a lake on the planet of Kashyyyk.
Oh, okay. Then it's K. No, okay. Sorry. So Kjelstad. KYYALSTAD. I give up.
You were close. There's 2 A's.
Bro.
Are you kidding?
when you got those 2 Y's, though, you know what I'm realizing? I have a problem because a lot of these words I did already know.
But who was the winner? Who won our first annual Star Wars spelling bee?
Congrats, Ollie. You won.
Oh my god, Ollie's the
What was
quirked
this?
up little white boy.
What are the scores looking like?
With 2.5 points, Noah, Claudia and I are tied for third with 2, and Ollie, you won with 3.
Anyway, this has been the Star Wars spelling bee. Maybe we'll have a second annual one. Who knows? Tune in next time. Let's go to the next segment.
Welcome to our favorite segment, which is Name That Ship. The way Name That Ship works is one of the hosts will bring a fan fiction, and we will read the tags, the description, or any other relevant information, and our other hosts will have to guess who the main ship is. Remember, this is all in good fun. We're doing this for fun. As we have said multiple times, fan fiction writers are the backbone of society. So please don't go search out for these people. Let's get into it. I have brought one today. This one is not like necessarily like gross or weird or bad or anything. The summary is just very good. This is rated general audiences. It is character A/character B. There is another character who is not in the ship, but if I say who it is, it's immediately going to give it away. So I'm going to refer to him as character C, but no, he is not in the ship. Character C and character A. Characters. Character A and character C. So character B is not in this fic. Alternate universe, modern setting. Teenager character A. Dating. Crack treated seriously. One shot, short one shot. Do you guys want to hear the description? I think I really like her. She's cute and funny. And how does she fight? The blunt question made character A sigh. Honestly, I have no idea. I've never seen her fight anyone. Then how can you know anything about her if you don't know if she can hold her own? Character A rolled his eyes. Dad, it's 2021. There are more ways for a girl to be a badass than beating the crap out of somebody. Like what? Where teenager character A starts dating and finds out that his dad has outdated views of relationships.
Okay, so are these Rebels era characters, Clone Wars,
No.
sequels, High Republic?
You can't. I feel like it doesn't, like, New Republic era.
So like the time of the Book of Boba Fett between the
Yeah, about,
sequels
probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does this involve original trilogy characters?
It does not, no.
Or Rebels characters?
Nope.
Is it 2 men? 2 women?
No.
A man and a woman?
Yes,
It's a hetero relationship.
it is.
Is it a popular ship?
No, I let me check and see how many fics there are. There's one fic for this, and I found it. I will also, these are not like adults. These are like, this is like an AU where it's not really an AU, but they are like teenagers. It is an AU, but in this, they are teens.
So wait, they're normally adults,
No.
but they're not normally teenagers?
Yeah.
So I don't know a lot about children, but that does not leave a number of categories
So-
left available.
Right. You're
Are
right.
these characters that have been in live action?
Yes. Both of them. All 3 of the people in this fic have
Is
been.
one of them Grogu?
One of them is character A is
No.
Grogu.
Is the dad Din Djarin?
The dad is Din Djarin. I can read the tag that I didn't read earlier, which is Mandalorian culture. And the last is where teenager Grogu starts dating and finding out that his dad has outdated views of relationships in the Mandalorian way. So who's the girl?
Huh.
Who's the lucky lady who's getting to date teen Grogu?
Ray?
No!
No.
This is another character from the Mandalorian.
Winter.
Who's a baby?
It is! You're right, it's Winta, Omera's daughter.
What?
What?
From episode 3 of The Mandalorian. This is an AU where Winta has been aged up to a teenager, as has Grogu, and it is a modern AU, and they are dating.
To kind of wrap up this evening's conversation, I want to bring it full circle. This ship isn't cursed by any means. I think it's really funny, personally. The tags tell a story. Are you ready? Tags are character A, character B. Other characters include Luke Skywalker, Hondo Ohnaka, and Han Solo. Additional tags: character A, character B raise Luke and Han together. Accidental marriage, pirates, slavers for like 2 seconds, protective character A, protective character B. This is not how this group of people ought to hide, but, whatever. No smut. Maybe next time.
Okay, I feel like I got hit by a brick and then you kept
It's one
running.
Cad Bane.
Hondo Ohnaka is in
One
this?
is Cad Bane, and yes, Hondo Ohnaka is in this.
Cad Bane is raising Rey with who?
Not Rey.
He's raising Luke and
Luke and Han.
I don't know what. Okay, that
Is
I
it a
don't know
Jedi?
where that came from. Is
Is
it
it Maul?
It is not Maul.
Obi-Wan?
It is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Cad Bane and
Oh my
fucking
God.
Obi-Wan?
No, they
One shot.
no. Listen, because I think that they should kiss. I think they have explored each other's bodies.
There was
What
some
about-
tension after the Racco Hardin arc. That's all I'm saying.
Cad Bane was like, Racco Hardin's kind of fine though, and he walks
He's
up to
like-
Racco Hardin and he's like, "Hey, do you want to go on a date after this?" And Obi-Wan as Racco Hardin's like, "Oh, okay."
Cad Bane is like, I kind of want to thank him, but I kind of want to knock him out.
Guys, I think we've made this joke on this podcast before.
Undoubtedly.
We have.
Undoubtedly.
Thank you so much for joining us this week for RuPaul's Padres. Episodes usually drop on Sundays, but for updates, Star Wars news, and more curse shit, follow us on social media at RuPaul's Padres on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And if you really love the show, please rate and review our show on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Spotify, or Overcast. It means a lot to us and it really helps us out. May the force be with you, and don't kriff it up.
Waka waka.
Hey guys, I need you to fucking know that we did this DM me and was like, the rat would grab onto his ball.
I said his
I
ball.
hate it here.
The only text in the message is his ball sack. 3 words.
And would you like to explain what you were talking about when you said that?
I was talking about what the rat grabs onto to control loading brainstorm. I was trying to share a funny joke between me and my friend Noah, but unfortunately, we can't have anything private these days in the information age. Everyone's so entitled, they have to know everything. God, I can't do anything. This is my formal resignation from the podcast. Thank you.
Okay,
because the hill you're dying on is Loden Greatstorm's ball sack.
No, the hill I'm dying on is Noah sharing our private conversations.
About Loden Greatstorm's ball sack.
Why does it matter what it's about?
Tomorrow I have to release a video called Breaking My Silence. I just want to talk about the difficult topics that we had to discuss on the podcast, and I want to apologize.
No, you cannot put the phrase "breaking my ball sack" in the chat and not say anything.
Oh my god, Loden fell and landed on his balls.
Oh no!
No.
Oh no!
Do you remember when Elzar Man fell and landed on his taint?
POV, Jess is gonna kill us all.
Are you motherfuckers done now?